Today, we're digging into an ancient story that has a surprisingly modern kick to it. It's called The Eloquent Peasant. So think about this for a second. It's a question we're still grappling with, right? This fundamental human struggle for fairness. But what if I told you one of the most powerful takes on this very question doesn't come from our time, but from a world that existed almost 4,000 years ago? Yeah, the answer lies in an ancient Egyptian story. It's a tale that shows how a single, determined voice can actually challenge the powerful and maybe even redefine what justice really means. So, we're talking about The Eloquent Peasant. This is a literary masterpiece from around 1850 BCE, written during Egypt's Middle Kingdom. And this thing was so good, so potent, that people were still copying it and reading it centuries later. And here's what makes it so incredible. In a world where so much has just been lost to time, this story, it survived pretty much intact. It's this incredibly rare window, not into the lives of pharaohs and gods, but into the mind of a regular person just demanding to be heard. All right, so how does this ancient drama actually play out? Let's meet the cast of characters. Our hero is a guy named Khun-Anup. He's a simple peasant, and his name literally means good of speech, which is a nice bit of foreshadowing. He gets into trouble with Khun-Anup, who's this corrupt official working for the high steward, a man named Renzi, and kind of watching all of this from a distance is the big boss himself, Pharaoh Nebkore. So the whole plot gets kicked off by a simple act of greed. This corrupt official, Nemtanakath, he sets a trap for our peasant, Khun-Anup, and uses some bogus excuse to steal all his stuff. When Khun-Anup protests, he gets beaten and totally ignored. So with nothing left, he takes his case to the official's boss, the high steward, Renzi. And that's where he begins a series of 9 brilliant speeches demanding justice. But here's the story's unbelievable twist. The high steward, Renzi, is so blown away by the peasant's way with words that he actually goes and tells the pharaoh about it. And the pharaoh, who's just as fascinated, gives this really strange order. Delay justice. Let the peasant keep talking, he says, so we can get every single word written down. They even secretly provide for his family while the whole legal case is put on pause, all for the sake of art. Now, to really get why this story was such a big deal, we need to look at the world it came from. This wasn't just some made-up fable, it was a product of a very specific moment in history. So the story is set during a kind of chaotic period around 2050 BCE, but it was actually written down about 200 years later during the Middle Kingdom, which was a true literary golden age for Egypt. What we have today has been pieced together from 4 different papyrus manuscripts, all telling versions of the same powerful tale. And this story, you guys, was truly revolutionary. I mean, think about it. In a culture that was obsessed with the divine status of pharaohs and these epic tales of gods, this story puts an ordinary person, a peasant, right at the center of the action. It basically suggests that a person's worth comes from their character, not their social rank. This made it a total blockbuster hit among literate Egyptians. For them, it wasn't just entertainment, it was this bold statement about their ideals for law and society. So, what was the big idea at the heart of the peasants' speeches? Well, it all comes down to one of the most important concepts in all of Egyptian culture. And that concept is Ma'at. Now, Ma'at is so much more than just justice. It's the fundamental order of the universe. It's truth and balance and harmony, all rolled into one. It's this core belief that society should reflect the perfect order of the cosmos. And when that order gets broken, well, that's when chaos starts to creep in. And this is the very principle our peasant is about to weaponize in his speeches. So here's the crucial point. Khun-Anup isn't just asking for his donkeys back. He's making a really deep philosophical argument. By appealing to Ma'at, he's accusing the official not just of theft, but of knocking the entire cosmic balance out of whack. His speeches aren't just complaints, they're these rhetorical masterpieces arguing that in a world governed by Ma'at, a person has to be judged on the truth of their words, not the size of their wallet. And this just brilliantly shows the central tension of the story, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got the expected social order, where a powerful landowner's word is law. But Khun-Anup is championing the ideal of Ma'at, where truth is the ultimate authority. And in that world, even a poor peasant, if he speaks that truth with passion and eloquence, can persuade the powerful and restore that cosmic harmony. So, in the end, the peasant's words proved to be way more powerful than the official's status. After 9 passionate speeches, justice is finally served. Renzi not only gives Khun-Anup his property back, but also gives him all of the corrupt official's possessions. So what is it that makes this ancient victory still feel so powerful today? This story's legacy is just immense. It gives us this rare look at how legal ideas might have worked for everyday people in ancient Egypt. It's a classic underdog story, and that's something that resonates across thousands of years. It champions the idea that one person, armed with nothing but their words and their conviction, can actually stand up to a corrupt system. And it shows that eloquence, the ability to speak truth clearly and powerfully, is one of the greatest tools we have for achieving justice. And its power definitely hasn't faded. The story keeps on inspiring artists and thinkers. It was even adapted into an acclaimed short film back in 1969, which just goes to show that its themes are as relevant now as they were 4,000 years ago. And that brings us right back to where we started, with a question. The story of the eloquent peasant is, at its heart, a testament to the enduring power of speech. And it kind of leaves us wondering, in our own complicated world, what injustices could be set right if we too just found the courage to speak up?